little bit for you guys. What's going on? So, welcome back to the live stream. You may have noticed that I didn't do one last week. I just don't do these videos every week. Like, I don't have something to say every week. If you guys want to tell me a subject and ask for me to talk about it, I'll do that. But other than that, I really just don't like just running my mouth for no reason, And that's what I found a lot of content creators do. It's almost like they have to talk, because if they don't come up with something to talk, then they're going to lose something. But they'll start just like, it's almost like filibustering. They'll just regurgitate stuff over and over and over and over and over. And for, next thing you know, for 18 minutes, they've talked about the same subject in a cycle 4 or 5 times and not really got anywhere. And I can't stand that, because we're supposed to be in the age of quickness and fastness and efficiency, and we're talking about the same thing for 18 minutes. And you're just like, and you put it on in the background and you don't notice that it's playing. Before you know it, you watched the whole video and you don't know what they were talking about. You're like, okay, I remember the thumbnail, I remember the title, but I don't know if they actually talked about what I was asking about. They may have advertised something for 5 minutes, but I don't know if they actually said anything. But I'm doing another video for you guys. This one's going to be on Daytona Bike Week. And this goes back to what I said before about the content creators. What you'll notice is these content creators will make videos about certain subject. It doesn't matter what it is. If somebody falls off a ladder and that was the only content they had, you would see 18 videos of them talking about somebody falling off a ladder and their opinion about ladders. So right now it's Daytona Bike Week. Everybody's talking about Daytona Bike Week. What is it? Who's going? Who all going to be there? And different subjects like that. The goods and the bads and everything. What they fail to talk about when they're talking about these things about Daytona Bike Week. Hey, Lisa. Hey, 1CJ. What they fail to talk about with Daytona Bike Week is why. Hey, Kirsten. Why? If Daytona Bike Week is so bad, hey, Heather, if Daytona Bike Week is so bad, if the police presence is so bad, if the congestion is so bad, why aren't we going? Thanks, Lisa, for the sub and like. Appreciate that. If Daytona Bike Week is so bad, why aren't we going? This dad, off subject for a second. This dad came in and he's got the long Islander hair, and his little boy's got the long Islander hair too. I'm kind of jealous. But anyway, if Daytona Bike Week is so bad, why aren't we going? Why aren't we doing this? Like, there's other beaches, okay? Just like Sturgis. Sturgis does not really want you there. There's like hundreds of thousands of people at Daytona Beach every Daytona Bike Week. Hundreds of thousands. Some say 1 million. Can you imagine all of those people on the same couple of streets? I get it. It's a lot of people. But I also get, you advertise it as Daytona Bike Week, one of the biggest events in the United States. Come to Black Bike Week in Myrtle Beach for Memorial Day weekend. I've heard that too, because somebody was talking about how Myrtle Beach has 2 different bike weeks. And I think it would be fun to like hang out for one and then watch it convert into the other, and then hang out the other one, you know what I mean? And that may be an option. That may be an option to go to Myrtle Beach, to go to Thunder at the Beach in Panama City. I think Mobile needs to do something. Like, why is Mobile, Alabama, why does it not do something and get itself big? Because it's pretty obvious that Florida does not want you there. Like, they're already cracking down on motorcycle clubs hard. And then during Daytona Bike Week, they crack down on motorcycles hard. Like, there's the saying, if you put your feet down at Daytona, you will get stopped. And I think that's ridiculous. Why should you be walking on eggshells in an event that's about you? That would be like if you went to the Olympics and the whole time you're there, you got stopped by the police. Like, you're in the Olympics, you're somebody competing, and everything you did, you got stopped by the police. They don't want you there. They don't want you there. Miami doesn't even want spring breakers. I believe it. And they don't understand that's where their livelihood comes from. Because they were talking about the millions of dollars that Daytona makes in that 1 week. And they don't get it. That's why I believe that you should treat this like a relationship. If you're in a relationship with somebody and they're not doing what you need them to do, I'm not talking about what you want them to do. If your needs are not getting met in the relationship, what do you do besides break up with them? What's another option? I'll give you a second. What's another option besides breaking up with somebody if they're not meeting your needs? You retract your time and your resources. So if Daytona Bike Week does not want you there, take your presence and your money away from them and give it to somebody else and see what happens. Because I guarantee you, if 1 week of Daytona Bike Week, one time, 10% stayed home, 50% stayed home, they would be losing their minds. What do you mean we made $7 million last year and this year we only made $2 million? They would be freaking out. Oh, it's Daytona Bike Week? And that'd be the next thing. Every content creator on YouTube would be making videos. Daytona Bike Week is dead. Daytona Bike Week is over. This is the things that Daytona Bike Week could do differently. Daytona Bike Week gets done over. You know, it's like emergency. But that's the only thing they're gonna do. Find a side chick. There you go. That's one thing too. Find a side chick, aka Myrtle Beach. But you would notice they would change. And they keep it. It's like everybody dislikes being the whipping boy. They just like going down there to Daytona Beach because it's the status quo. Hey, Ray, how's it going? Because it's the status quo. They want to tell everybody they went to Daytona Beach. You got motorcycle clubs that make it mandatory to drive down there. And it's the stupidest thing I ever seen. Like, some other guys were asking me the other day, it's like, hey, we should go down to this bike thing in Florida, blah, blah. I said, well, do you have your motorcycle endorsement? No. Then you're not going. What do you mean? You have to have your motorcycle endorsement to drive in Florida or to ride in Florida. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Do you have your, is your tag up to date? No. Then you're not going. I mean, they don't understand that Florida is very, very strict. Very. And you're not just going to ride around down there. They're going to stop you. They're going to stop every single person on a motorcycle. Because they can. And they're going to give you a ticket for something. They don't want you there. It's plain and simple. Do you know how many times I've rode on a motorcycle in my home state, my hometown, and didn't even have a tag on it? didn't have insurance on it, and nobody stopped me. Rode right by a police officer. Rode right by them. They stopped right behind me because they understand it's not that big of a deal. Like, they just don't care because they're not geared towards that kind of thing. Florida is looking for you. They see you on two wheels, they're gonna stop you. Like they were talking about the other day, like somebody got really into the science of it, and they said, "Hey, um, on Daytona Bike Week, they have a decibel limit in Florida. Like your bike can only be so loud." But they said that the stock noise of a motorcycle was actually above the legal decibel level when they tested it. So you're already riding illegally. And then they said, think about this. Okay, you're riding down Daytona. They're checking decibel levels, right? What does sound do when it hits something? It bounces off, right? It amplifies and bounces off. So if you line the streets with people and buildings, and then you ride down that street with your motorcycle, is it not going to make your motorcycle louder? So now you're just asking to get pulled over. Your bike's too loud. Well, how would you know, buddy? I can't even hear you talk right now. It's so loud right here. So to me, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to me. I would rather go to a smaller place because you'll notice with a lot of things, even like with clubs and bars, things work in a cycle. So you know how your hometown will get a bar or club and it's like the hotness. Everybody goes there. They're waiting outside the door. It becomes this new hot thing. And so you might actually go to another bar or club because that bar or club is so crowded and congested. So you'll go to a different one. And then somebody else does. And then somebody else does. And then somebody else does. And then that bar and club becomes popular. And then it's only standing room only. So then you move to another bar and club. That's what you're going to have to do. Florida does not want you there. That's pretty. It's pretty plain and simple to me. That's understandable to me. I can read the writing on the wall. It's there. So I think you need to pull your time and resources, go somewhere else, whether it be Myrtle Beach, Panama City. I wouldn't even say go to a different beach in Panama City because I thought about that. They just don't deserve your money because they don't want you there. So maybe go to like Mobile, somewhere a little bit more west, closer to Texas, somewhere like that. It's just, I don't know, man. The writings, like I said, the writing's on the wall, and the writing says, stay out. That's what I'm seeing. Stay out of Daytona Beach. They don't want you there. It's pretty plain and simple. But you guys can do what you want. If you want to be peer pressured into going to Daytona Beach, you go right ahead. I just don't need the headache. It's not really worth it to me. There's other places I can go that's really nice to ride your motorcycle without all that. Because it would be different if they wanted you there. And like somebody said in there, the locals get fed up with the noise. They put pressure on the politicians. It's true. And the politicians don't care. What they care about is votes. So if everybody's pushing, they're not going to fix the situation, but they're going to tell people they are, so they get elected, and then they just put a bunch of police officers out there to pull everybody over. Now, to me, what would fix the situation is if they said, hey, let's do 2 weeks of Daytona Bike Week. Let's do 2 weeks of Daytona Bike Week. Let's move these businesses out of this area. Let's get a designated area for these people to be. Have them stay out there. We'll do it for 2 weeks. Get all the income. Call it a day. Because there's a concert nearby where I live, right? The first year they did it, it was bad. People were buying VIP tickets and they're standing right next to people that was general public. I was pissed. But so then a few years after that, these people came in and they started doing it correctly. Well, then they moved the venue to a different area because it got bigger. Well, people were complaining in town. Oh, they're so loud, obnoxious, and all these people come in here and we don't want them. So then they moved it to a bigger venue outside of town. Well, then it started becoming a mess because of the transportation. You got people driving in and out. They're messing the roads all up. They're having to fix the road every time they leave. Like they're having to resod the ground because they're parking in the grass and tearing it all up. There's trash. I think they said it costed like $60,000 to fix it. So then they said, we're going to move that to a different city that has a proper venue. I mean, to me, that's common sense. Like, why are we just like cracking down on the people that want to come? Imagine you take your kids to a concert and they're pulling you out of your seat at the concert to write you a ticket for something. You just wouldn't go. You just wouldn't go again. No more of this. I ain't going back. But instead, they keep showing up. They show up every year to go to Daytona Bike Week and get a ticket. They don't want you there. It's insanity. It's absolute insanity. I don't get it. But hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Hope you guys like this video. Let me know what else you want to talk about or want me to talk about. Tell me in the comments what you think about Daytona Bike Week. Whether you think it's worth it or not. I'm trying to come up with more videos to talk about. But of course, there's some things in the motorcycle world that I just can't talk about. It's, kind of secretive in that way. And people will get mad if I talk about it. But there's some things that I can. So let me know. And I'll try to talk about those things with you. Tell me what you think about, this is on a different subject, but tell me what you think about the whole George Christie tape situation going on with Chatting with Stacks, because I'm kind of playing devil's advocate on this one. I think that somebody's trying to punch up because they see somebody that's successful and it's making them mad. And I think everybody's speaking in half-truths. But let me know what you think about it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you guys later. All right, I'm out.